Hey ladies, oh my gosh, see, I'm so self-conscious about being out and about doing a live. I hope you can hear me. I've smuggled myself into a jungle. Check this out. Yes, I am in London, but I am in a little jungle. So basically, I'm in a park. I'm doing this in a way that you're not going to get dizzy. So you can see like the park, but they've got this little like grove of trees that I've decided to hide in. Which I think is fine for now, because earlier I found somebody else hiding in here, and frankly I think they were having a spliff. They've gone now because I was starting to get really conscious. I was going to leave here smelling like weed, but I don't think I will anymore, which is really good. So anyway, I digress. I totally digress. So how do you get more paid or just speaking engagements in general using LinkedIn? So top tip number one, first and foremost, on your LinkedIn profile, rather than simply just having so if you're a coach or a speaker and you've got businesses or whatever, I would strongly recommend that you have speaker as a completely separate job. Hey, Hannah, as a completely separate job on your LinkedIn profile. Here are the reasons why. First and foremost, when people go to give you references or you go to get recommendations on LinkedIn, your recommendations are put under a particular job type, right? And so if you've got speaker plus X, Y, and Z, so coach and speaker, then it's really hard to distinguish between your speaker recommendations and your coaching recommendations. I'm just using coaching as an example. It could be anything else. But also when you combine the two together, it looks as if your speaking is a side gig sort of thing that you're doing. Whereas when you split them out, it comes across as if speaking is a much more professional gig that you're doing, and it's not just this side additional thing that you're doing at the side, right? So step one, make sure that that's separated and update your profile. So on LinkedIn, under your now new speaker profile, add media. And the media are things like photographs, videos. So the videos have to link to YouTube, so or Vimeo, but you put a link. So you will have to upload, you can't upload the videos into LinkedIn, but you can link videos that are uploaded elsewhere into LinkedIn. So make sure that you add this sort of media. Reach out and get recommendations on LinkedIn. Two reasons for that. First and foremost, LinkedIn is already ranked. When people are looking at you on there, if an organization finds you on LinkedIn and so on and so forth, then at least it says they can see straight away your recommendations. It's in a separate part of your profile, so it's really straightforward and easy to do. Secondly, the other reason for getting them on LinkedIn is because if you're anything like me, you'll lose the bloody things. Like if people email me and so on and so forth, I've got to dig through my emails and I need to have a separate way of freaking managing them. And if I have to have a separate way of managing anything, then frankly, I am much more likely to lose the bloody thing. So that's why I just get them all through LinkedIn. And those recommendations are just a lot more visible. When you are writing your LinkedIn profile, SEO it. So LinkedIn, hey Hannah, LinkedIn is great and already search engine optimized in many ways, and so often when people search for you, your LinkedIn profile may be one of the first things that they find. So if you go onto my profile, you'll notice that I have MC, host, moderator. It's deliberately written so that, and I'm not saying it's brilliant, but some conscious thought was put into doing it and having it deliberately written so that if somebody is looking for an event host or an MC, then I'm more likely to pop up in the feed, and that's why I kind of get found, because my stuff is in there. And also in my recommendations, people are saying Lavelda was a great MC, she was a great host, and so it kind of comes up in there. You want a really great biography and a summary of your talk. Now, don't say I talk about X, Y, and Z, you know, what are your talk titles? So can be booked for, and put your talk titles in your description rather than an overview of who you are. So if you're saying a speaker and you've got 3 core titles that you speak on, then put those in there. And reach out for recommendations. So make sure you're getting recommendations, have your LinkedIn as a separate profile altogether. And so this is how you use LinkedIn make sure you're using media. So this is how you use LinkedIn to make sure that you're getting noticed. In terms of finding people, when you start adding people on your LinkedIn profile, my arm is just not strong enough to do this. I'm gonna have to get one of those selfie sticks I've been avoiding like the plague. Anyhows, when you start reaching out to people in your LinkedIn profile, it's not about adding all and sundry. It's about starting to get really strategic about the sorts of people who are likely to book you. So if you're in a space where you would be booked by HR directors, then you want to add HR directors on your LinkedIn profile. because they probably know more HR directors and you want them to be seeing your content on a regular basis. So in terms of who's in your LinkedIn sphere, you want to start getting really, really clear and clued up on who are the right people for you to be connecting with in your niche that's going to get you the most amount of business. And this is often something that people miss, right? And then finally, in the same way that you post content on, say, Facebook, and I'm assuming that you use Facebook quite a bit because that's the platform I'm talking to you on now, you want to be posting that content that's going to be relevant to people who book you on LinkedIn. Any questions about that sort of stuff? Beatrix has used this something bloody chronic to get booked for gigs that are paying her 4 figures plus on a regular basis, using video campaigns on LinkedIn specifically for the bookers. So it's not your general, like, it's not something like this, which will be like for, you know, B2C. When you're going B2B, you want high quality professional video footage. So you want a videographer who's going to shoot this footage for you that's going to be relevant to your audience. And then you want to be doing regular sort of marketing where you're dropping this stuff in. You want to be engaging with posts from people who you think would book. So, you know, getting into groups. This is the other way that you can connect with people. There's a lot of stuff in here. I wasn't expecting to go quite so deep. So, one secret people don't know about LinkedIn is when you're in a LinkedIn group, it's actually easier to connect with people who are way outside of your network. So let's take the example of HR directors. If you're wanting to connect with an HR director and you really, really don't know them at all, then join HR groups, because it's easier. You then become closely affiliated with everybody in that group, which makes it easier for you to connect with people who are further, you know, like the 3rd or 4th or 5th, you know, degree away from you, where you can't easily otherwise connect on LinkedIn. Hey Lil! So those are my top tips on LinkedIn. Now, if you've been listening to this and you're thinking, oh my god, that's amazing, there's a ton of stuff to do, but I'm not quite sure where to start, and you know, you'd like to be able to perhaps do a session where we just looked at your LinkedIn profile specifically. By way of reminder, until midnight on Monday, I have a huge fire sale on my one-to-ones, so you can get access to that for $69, but it needs to be booked by midnight on Monday. That session can then take place later on, and we could perhaps use that session to look at your LinkedIn profile and develop a really strong strategy for you to really start getting business from LinkedIn. I'm telling you, as a speaker, LinkedIn is a gold mine. I get most of my most new business from people who don't know me through LinkedIn, and Facebook I get referrals from. That's just how my business model works. I know lots of other people who get a lot of great feedback from LinkedIn. It's a great network that a lot of people really aren't tapping into. And there are some real simple, quick and easy things that I've shared in this video you can start doing. But if you're ready to start diving a little bit deeper, you want a one-to-one to get quite specific on what you could be doing in particular that would improve your LinkedIn profile. That's what happens when I'm in the jungle. I've got flies all around me. Then book in for one of those one-to-one sessions that are currently only $69, which is a bloody steal. It's about 75% off because I feel like being really helpful this month, but that's only good for the next, what day are we on now? 5 days. So you have to book it by midnight on Monday. I will drop the link above and below, so you know, if you're interested, just book yourself directly in. Until next time, ladies, I will see you soon. Lots of love. Take care. Ciao.